Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege to be here amongst all of you, and especially this institute, which I love a lot. I'm here to speak on the need of adaptive farming. Before going to what is adaptive farming and what does it need, let us go through the basic scenario of farming in South Asia. Farming, food security issues. More than 70% of the smallholder farmers, they mostly practice family farming. They are small farmers doing subsistence agriculture and living in a land around 1 to 1.5 hectares. That is too large in some of our context. Large proportion of rainfed agriculture in arid and semi-arid conditions. And South Asia has the largest number of malnourished children in the world. Malnutrition rates in several South Asian countries are much higher than those of Africa. So there's a larger need for addressing this issue. Undernutrition prevalence rates of India, Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan ranges between 38% to 51%, and prevalence rates in sub-Saharan African countries are around 26%. And if you see our state, Madhya Pradesh here, more than 50-60% of the children under 5 years of age are malnourished. And also there is an excess use of chemicals and external dependency for the farming inputs. The agriculture system after the Green Revolution has changed, and there is a lot of push for chemicals in the agriculture, and there is also a lot of dependency on the seeds which farmers are using, and the low productivity and reducing trend of land holding across the region. If you see, go anywhere and speak to any people, they are saying that our land holdings are now reducing. Some places it is also like due to increased purchase capacity, others are coming and giving better rates and taking it off. So there's a lot of similar issues, and the economic cost, as mentioned the World Bank report, malnutrition undermines economic growth and economic cost are substantial. Individuals lose more than 10% of lifetime earnings because of malnutrition. A country can lose up to 3% of GDP per year. So if you don't have a good food, if you don't have good food to eat, it is going to cost a lot on the total economy. And also the a well-nourished generation is very much required for the country to lead in the world, and malnutrition brings it down drastically and pulls it down. And if you see other major issues of food security and climate change, the right of access and control of farmers on farming itself has now reduced. Socially acceptable and culturally appropriate food is nothing we can get nearby. In South you get rotis nowadays, and here you get because all the traditional varieties like the millets and other things, it has going down. Mainstream focus of the agriculture research and extension and the PDS not favorable to the small farmers. Especially I'm talking in the context of small farmers because they are the one who is living on the subsistence agriculture. There is a chronic malnutrition, vanishing traditional practices and the agrobiodiversity, increasing vulnerability to climate change and the signals of change happening. People who doesn't have sufficient capacity, they are getting more vulnerable to these things. And although people are doing good work, contributing to to be resilient, but still water is the one and most important problem faced across the rainfed regions. So it's a huge problem. If you see the agriculture system as such, we have three major systems working in the country: the agriculture education system, the research system and the extension system. And if you see, this is one of the biggest national agriculture research system across the world. We have the largest agriculture system which can pump in, inputs and pump in technology to farmers to grow the best food in the world. But certainly there is various limitations. Vast number of education institutions are there, the research centers are there. And it is not that people are not, generating knowledge, generating technology, generating varieties, or to solve these problems. But the last mile reach is the biggest issue across the country, across the region, wherever you go. I'm skipping this part. And other point is the agriculture is seen only as science. The cultural and social aspects are neglected while taking decisions. If you see the decisions which has been coming out from the government or from the policy makers, it is invariably proving this. An inadequate mechanism for technology transfer. Our systems at the local are, like sir said, operation successful, but then patients are dead. So there is no one there to go and see who is there. Limited focus on the issues of small farmers, because small farmers are the larger number of proportion of people who are living across this area, and we have very low focus. Skewed food basket, whatever you used to have earlier, now because of the cropping system practices, it has reduced. Agriculture becoming more external oriented, and farmers' rights are compromised, and cropping systems. There is a need to make agriculture system more accountable, inclusive, people oriented, ecological, and cost effective. And farming adaptive farming is nothing. It is not rocket science.
Sir, please conclude in 1 minute.
Yeah, it is basically about understanding the environment, identifying the problems, identification of the local feasible solutions, and testing of the solutions to identify the best results, and proactive action to overcome problems, and mutual sharing and learning process which needs to inculcate among the farmers. So there is a lot of need. I am involved with this program called SAPBIN from Caritas India. We are basically going to the community, sitting with them, trying to understand what the problems of the climate change is, or the problems of the food security they are facing, and trying to identify the local solutions what they have been practicing. And with these small things, they have been able to come out of these problems very easily. And then a small push or a small linkage with the government systems can enable them to further go quite far. At least we can reduce the malnutrition and the food security issues, insecurity issues to a greater extent. I'll stop my presentation here due to limited time. So thank you so much.